Hey people out there, it's Jerry and this is a Rauta's workout video. Actually, it's two videos made into one. First of all, talking about workout failures and mistakes you might make when you're working out, whatever your goal is. And the second part is Darkthrone, Eternail Hails review of sorts. It's not a full review, but well, given that part lasts some, I don't know, 8 minutes, it's kind of like a review. But take it as you will, it's my opinion about it and whatever. If you decide to watch it fully, go ahead and comment either part of the video or both parts. And if you want to skip this workout part to the Darkthrone one, well, move ahead, skip these workout talks, and then you can find my thoughts about Darkthrone album. But first about working out, training, becoming bigger, stronger, faster, whatever your goal is. Now, so many people, either new or old, veteran or inexperienced ones, make mistakes. We all make mistakes sometimes because our ego lets it happen, or because we are inexperienced, we're tired, or whatever the reason is. Doesn't really matter. What matters is that sometimes we make things that shouldn't take place. We, for example, do bad technique because we don't pay attention, or we don't know that we're doing bad technique, or because we're once again very tired. There are a multitude of different reasons why this might happen. Well, obviously the less experienced ones are more likely to make these mistakes, but it can happen to veteran ones. I wouldn't call myself a veteran of lifts. I wouldn't call myself very experienced ones, but I would say, yeah, I have some years now under my belt. And well, I should know what to do and what not, but every now and then mistakes are made, and these videos which I will show you right after this one are some of those. Now, the point of this whole video is basically that what you should do is, well, have a spotter, have a friend at the gym to help you out to ignore, kind of not do those mistakes. I was gonna say ignore the mistakes, but that would have sounded so wrong. So have a friend at your gym with you, training with you, whatever your goal is, doesn't really matter, to figure out what is going wrong, what is going good, and all that stuff. Of course, it kind of expects that this friend of yours, or whoever it is, understands what you are doing, what kind of movements you are doing, what kind of exercise you're doing, whatever your goal is. But for example, I give you a very typical thing what I'm talking about. Doing like half repetitions, maybe half squat, half bench, and whatever. They might, target specific part of your body, and sometimes there is a place for that. So I wouldn't just outright say you cannot do that or you cannot do this, but every now and then you will see people at the gym doing kind of weird kind of things, and you figure out that's not what they're aiming to do. Some people, for example, might do half reps with squats because they're kind of afraid to go down enough, and then they couldn't even load so much weight that what they're supposed to handle. So it's easier to kind of cheat on it. Like, okay, I will put these 100 units, whatever it's kilos or pounds, doesn't really matter for an example. They just kind of put too much stuff that they really can't go down and then come up, so they just do half reps. It makes their ego, yeah, fuck you, I'm strong, but really it isn't really helping them. So it's kind of a cheating, and that is something that you will see on my overhead press, which is not cheating on purpose, but kind of like something that you really might not notice what you're doing. There are ways, and really different ways and different movements how to execute those parts. Like sometimes when you bench, your butt may come up without noticing it, and these same things can happen in multitude of different exercises, and sometimes you have no idea. Well, if you don't have a friend at the gym who can do this spotting for you or making notes of whatever you're doing, one good way to just avoid doing these mistakes and help you out in order to become a better lifter, or whatever you're doing, is to make videos. It sometimes may look a little bit goofy at your gym, and you might feel a little bit awkward, like, can I put my camera here? Will these people actually wonder what's going on? At least I feel like that sometimes when a gym is crowded, and I might set a video, my camera right there in order to shoot a video. But then again, why would I give a damn what they are thinking? So instead, I would just set up the camera and do my shit, because after all, you're there at the gym for yourself, not for everybody or anybody else. So make those videos or have a friend with you at the gym to figure out what's going on, what is going badly, what is going well, and all that stuff. And learn from your mistakes. If you notice from a video that, okay, there is a little bit of tweaking to do, well, get to that. It helps you, it rewards you, and it helps you to battle that ego, which might try to tackle you just because you're going to do this and that. Okay, I don't want to make this rant any longer. The original one was almost 13 minutes, so let's cut it here. You get to see those videos, and I hope you will get my point, because there's just, spoken things, said things about those videos, what is going on and which kind of things I had. For example, those deadlift ones had a kind of a ego talking, and as such, maybe I should not have done them in the first place. But anyway, check those out, and should you have any comments or questions, please drop them, and then we will talk about the latest Darkthrone album called Eternail Hails. See you soon with more reviews and other stuff coming your way. Alright, here you will see my first lift with 200 kilos. That is pretty easy, simple, straightforward, and all that stuff. It didn't even feel heavy, so no problem. The second one, however, is 220, so 20 kilos more, and that already felt quite heavy. Surprisingly heavy, considered I took 6 times 230 about a week earlier. So something was a little bit amiss, and I still wanted to go on. But what you will see next is a failure. This is 240. And I was supposed to take at least one, but seriously, it didn't move much. I thought it nothing, but yeah. And the overhead hip presses. This one is taken from on the front of me with a weird angle, but at least you can see that the weight is moving relatively nicely, and I couldn't see from this angle anyway, major flaws or anything. This is the second to last set, and I was really happy about it because it made actually this feel rather easy as well. But as you can see, if you take a look at my knees and calves, as you can see, I'm a little bit doing that kind of going down a little bit, which isn't exactly what I was hoping for. I mean, I don't hate it, but it could have been a lot better. So make videos of your workouts and you see what is going on. So now that you've either seen or skipped those workout videos, it's time to talk about Darkthrone Eternail Hails. Now, make no mistake, Darkthrone is one of my favorite black metal bands of all time. I mean, if you've seen my Darkthrone worst to best video, which I will link to this video, you know how I really adore the band. Or should I say adored? Because Darkthrone is probably the only band out there which I can say has 2 10 out of 10 albums. Even so, past 13, 15 years, I haven't heard a Darkthrone album, the new ones, that would be like, yay, I need to have it, I will buy it. Basically, the band started to go in decline from my perspective, and that's not obviously a happy thing to happen. Now, most Darkthrone albums are somewhat good or decent. Some are really great, and I have plenty of Darkthrone CDs in my collection because it's a fantastic band, or used to be in their apex moments, during their best era. But that era for me lasted from early 90s, basically from a Blaze album to around 2006, 2008, depending how you wanna see it. But anyway, these are all listed in my opinion, in my order at the worst to best video. Now the point here is, I still kind of have lots of hopes for Darkthrone. I mean, when I saw them on stage at Wacken some 15 years ago, 2004, so it's like almost 17 years ago now, they were phenomenal. Basically, it was a Satyricon set, with it about 30 minutes, 6 songs or something like that, with, Darkthrone playing on stage, and it was magical. I was drunk as fuck, I guess. Well, not too drunk, but drunk anyway. And it was just magical, because it was my favorite black metal band. It still is. But let's be honest about it, past few years, Darkthrone hasn't been really doing black metal. It's been more like kind of an early prototype heavy metal, and that blending in with kind of a black metal-ish vocals, and using the kind of a production which they're very familiar with their black metal albums and all. Now, I don't care how you label or, which kind of boxes or genres you decide to put Darkthrone. and especially during these new albums, Eternail Hails. But for me, it ain't black metal one bit. Now, that's not a bad thing as such, because there are lots of bands which kind of move on and try something else. I mean, we all remember, I guess, how Behemoth turned from this pagan black metal band into death metal band, and then kind of became back to black metal and all. And there are lots of these kind of examples, how bands change over time. Therion changed from death metal to kind of their own orchestral gothic metal. Darkthrone started as a death metal band, then became a black metal band, then became kind of a heavy metal band, and now, what? Doom metal band. Well, at least in my opinion, Eternail Hails is more doom metal than any other metal so far. One could say it's a black and doom because nocturnal cultos, raspy, kind of a black metalish vocals. It's not some of his best vocals, but they're pretty okay. And that's pretty much the only okay part on the album, besides the logo, which is still fantastic. But Eternail Hails, okay, the cover is pretty cool, but that's taken from a 1970s sci-fi space book. I had it as a kid, so I know the photo, or well, it's not photo, but painting. But everything else, in my opinion, on the album pretty much sucks. It's not a horrible album, I'll give you that. But it's not a great album at all. In my opinion, it's very much very mediocre one. After 2 full spins and some half of the third go, I would say it's roughly 5.5 out of 10. Maybe it's a 5 out of 10, maybe it's a 6 out of 10, but roughly here, maybe not 6 out of 10. I think that's kind of an overstatement. And the thing here is, the songs are too lengthy. It's like Metallica syndrome in so many ways. Like, let's just keep these songs going on even though we don't have the good riffs to back it up. The production is very bad. I mean, in terms of Darkthrone. I mean, I've heard worse productions. And some people were ready to say, hey, it's Darkthrone, what do you expect? I mean, come on, they never had a good production. But there's this thing called good production in terms of context. For example, Under Funeral Moon, Transylvanian Hunger, Panzerfaust, all have great production. Not great if you think bands like Iron Maiden or Rammstein or, you know, whatever, big bands. But in terms of raw black metal, fucking great production. But Eternail Hails is just kind of like weak one. In my opinion, it doesn't have the power or crispiness to support this kind of a doom metal. Nor do the vocals. I mean, the best doom metal albums have kind of a powerful vocals, not powerful vocals. If you get my idea. I don't claim to be a good vocalist, but I hope to give you a little bit of indication what's going on. So people who are looking for Darkthrone doing the kind of a black metal thing and then going slow as if having some recycled doom metal riffs and like, yeah, this is a banger, this is really good. I don't know what's wrong with you. I mean, maybe you're just unable to admit, much like my workout video statements, that, hey, this is Emperor's New Clothes. If you don't know the fable, the fairy tale that is, maybe you should look it up. The thing here is, sometimes you can change so many parts until it becomes totally different. In Darkthrone's case, that's what happened in my opinion. I mean, the songwriting is very mediocre. And the production is kind of sloppy. And the overall feeling is like that these are very mediocre riffs. Actually, some of them are almost more on the bad side than the decent side. Like I said, the vocals are pretty decent, but they don't really fit the music here. And the overall feeling is like, once the album is like done, I'm like, okay, I don't find anything good, anything positive to say about it. But I don't think it's a bad album as such. It's just very sloppy album. It's like a lengthy demo or something. Okay, I'll put it in this way. It's Darkthrone's Saint Anger. Why this comparison? Because there are people who actually like Saint Anger too. Some people are like, yeah, so what if Metallica had horrible production? Maybe you're not just used to that kind of a production. Same could be said Eternail Hails. So you don't like the songs, maybe you are the problem. Same could be said about Saint Anger as Eternail Hails. The point here is, true fans like them all. I think old Metallica is fucking fantastic. But Saint Anger, boring. Old Darkthrone, fucking fantastic. Eternail Hails, boring. So, I mean, by 2021, 6 months in, and I've already heard dozens and dozens better albums than Eternail Hails is. I have heard worse, given that, but still, I'm kind of lucky that I don't have to do a proper review. So I'm just gonna leave it at here, and you people need to figure out. You are probably gonna hate my hate my guts and hate me for saying that, but in my opinion, it's not a good album. It's probably the worst Darkthrone album ever, apart from Goat Lord, which is maybe still even worse. Anyway, now that said, feel free to hate, or feel free to comment yourself how you like it or why you don't like it. I don't know. And also, give me your comments about this workout video, and feel free to suggest me later on some other videos which could be done. So, keep your comments about Darkthrone, keep your comments about the workout, and let's get you in shape for 2021. Listen to the metal, drink beer, and get strong!